Welcome to another episode of Code with Swizz in the morning. So here's what we're gonna try to do today. The next slowest thing on all of my websites right now is the Twitter embed, and it's also kind of a privacy concern for my readers. So what I wanna try to do is steal the idea from Wang Majane, who built a custom Twitter embedder using CSS and plain HTML to basically get static Twitter embeds. The idea there is that instead of requesting Twitter's JavaScript, which is huge and bulky, and then filling in your block quotes later on when the JavaScript loads and you get weird artifacts and all of that, we're instead going to try to build that using we're going to try to build custom CSS and HTML that gets compiled right at deploy time, so that as soon as you get on the page, you already have good Twitter embeds. Sorry, I don't know why my face is so itchy today. So let me just tweet out a link to it, and then I'll show you more what I'm talking about. Let's see, link. How do I get the link? God damn it, where do I get the link? View event, copy link. Okay, so what you can see right now is my Lighthouse score from serverlesshandbook.dev. It's 43, which is not great, but at least first contentful paint has gotten a lot better. Now, if we look at here, this one, if you look at the biggest, slowest thing on the page is unused JavaScript. One of those is twitter.com, which is not great, and more twitter.com, and then some other stuff. And if I show you how serverless handbook loads, you'll see that it's not that great either. When you go down here, there's a bunch of tweets, and they are, as the JavaScript loads and Twitter runs, this is eventually going to fill up with tweets. That's not great. We would like that to be available immediately. Now, I haven't looked at how Wang Majane does this, so we're gonna do some quick research. I looked for where she was talking about this, so I'm hoping that she shares some code that I can borrow and steal. So she says tweets are available at page load, and because the blog no longer is Twitter.js, less third-party JavaScript. Okay, how it started, how it's going. Now, did she open source the code? I just wanted to ask the same question. Somebody deleted. Okay, so we don't have any shared code for this, which means we might have to do it ourselves, which sounds doable, but more work than I would have liked. Share button that uses native web share API. Okay. Meh. Did she really not share any code? That's not nice. Exactly, to keep track. Okay, so she has not shared code, which means we're going to open my Gatsby setup. Command O. I clicked Command O. Go to random coding, course platform. So that's the course platform is my Gatsby theme that I use for all of my sites. Come on. Oh, really, is my computer gonna be a problem now? Come on. Wow. Can you please let me know if I'm dropping frames or if this stream is really underperforming? It's been kind of hot in San Francisco lately, so I'm not sure how well this is working. I'm doing my best here. Okay, package JSON, computer is definitely very slow. Now, in Gatsby config, I'll show you what I'm using to do my embeds, and then we're going to add a plugin to my plugin to change how the embeds work. Really, come on, computer, work faster. Remark embedder. So here we go. So we have the Gatsby remark embedder, which is a Gatsby plugin that embeds pretty much everything. So I'm gonna close some of these pages to hopefully help my computer be a little faster. If we go to the Gatsby plugin, Gatsby remark embedder. So that's the plugin I'm using. It supports all sorts of things from CodePen to Vimeo, YouTube, and so on. Yay, thank you, Andre. So it supports, I'm gonna zoom this in a little bit so you can see it better. It supports all of these services, one of which is Twitter. So we're gonna change how the Twitter part of the plugin works, take over with our own plugin, and use that to embed custom code. Hey, sassy Darren, how are you doing today? I'm already doing that for the YouTube transformer for YouTube. Let me show you. So the way Gatsby Remark Embedder works is that it parses your page, it parses your markdown on deploy or on build, looks at different it looks for URLs from different services, and then takes those URL nodes and replaces them with custom HTML. In my case, with the YouTube transformer that I built, it uses, let me show you. So the YouTube transformer, if I can open it, embeds, in my case, Light YouTube, which then acts as the which acts as kind of a facade for YouTube embeds, so that you're not immediately loading a bunch of YouTube stuff. You can see that in my previous blog post and stream from last week. Today we're gonna try to do something similar for Twitter that uses custom HTML. So I'm gonna crib from the original plugin. We're gonna go into transformers, look for Twitter.js, and here you see that first we're gonna check for whether what's it called? We're gonna check whether it needs to be embedded. That's gonna detect a Twitter link. Then we make a function called getHTML that's going to fetch oembed data from Twitter, and then we'll use that oembed data to make a custom embed. So we're gonna try that like this. So first we're gonna go back into Gatsby config, and I'm gonna start a new branch just in case. Get checkout -b, let's say static Twitter. What's nice. So we make a static Twitter branch, and here we have YouTube transformer. Then we add, let's call it static Twitter embed, static Twitter embed, like that. YouTube transformer, static Twitter embed. We import that constant static Twitter embed requires /source/static Twitter embed. Should we call it transformer? No, we don't need to call it transformer. And then we create this new file, and I'm gonna crib again from the YouTube transformer, get the official plugin first. Gatsby remark this transformers Twitter like this, and then we have module.exports. We're gonna export, let's say const name equals Twitter. I don't think that's still necessary. And we're going to build a custom getHTML function. So this goes into source static Twitter embed.js. We get that. Now we need to build the getHTML function, same as here. Where are we gonna get the oembed data? So let's get the oembed const utils equals, actually let's do it like this, const fetch oembed data equals require Gatsby remark embedder /dist/ did we say where are they compiling utils into? So we need to find that, because I don't want to build it myself. So it's in transformers /utils. So transformers /utils. Okay. So that should give us the fetch embed data function, which we're going to use to get metadata for each tweet. I'm gonna look at how they're using it here. And where is this returning? Oh, it's returning like that. All right. So I think I can use async function get HTML, which gets a URL, and it's going to return, let's for now just return a paragraph that says hello world, and I'll show you what that's going to do when we run the first test. Then we're going to say Twitter URL. We're going to replace events and moments because the embed doesn't work otherwise. Const embed equals await fetch embed data from this thing, like that. And then we're going to console log the embed just so that we can actually test this. I'm gonna publish this as a, let's do, does this work? npm version pre-minor. Let's see if that's gonna update my version. No, it's pre-minor without a minus. npm version pre-minor, perfect. I'm gonna run npm publish just so it's easier for me to test. And yes, I probably should have built a quicker way of testing this. We can deal with that in the next step. First, let's just see if we hooked in correctly. Authy, let's see. Okay. Great. Now I'm gonna go back to my serverless handbook page. I'm gonna git checkout -b static Twitter, and we're gonna say yarn add, and we install the latest version of the platform, and then we're gonna run this, and all of the tweets at the bottom should get replaced with it's gonna say hello world, and we're gonna get a bunch of console logs with the embed data so that we can see if that part is working. That way we can verify that we hooked into the process correctly, and then we can work on actually, making it work. All right, so we got this. Let me say yarn start. We're gonna watch the console here, see if we get a bunch of outputs. Gatsby develop. This part might take a little while. So later on, we're gonna make a static HTML page so that we can tweak the HTML we're building using the embed data that we're console logging right now. Yes, this will all make a lot more sense when I write the write-up for it, which I'm gonna publish right after. Okay. Yes. So we get some errors. Now, sourcing and transforming nodes. This is where it's eventually gonna get to the tweets. We can open localhost 8000 as well. See if that loads. Let's see. Perfect. So this is the embed data that we get. We're gonna be able to use this in a little bit. Now, is it sourcing and transforming nodes? Come on. Come on. Create the page. I just want to see that it says hello world for everything. So we have the embed data, so we can copy this into a new file so that we can look at it. Oh, come on. Wow, computer's going very slow right now. Paste. I said paste. Wow, it didn't even paste correctly. Let's try that again. Let's see, which one should we try? There we go. So I need to get, where did all of the tweets go all of a sudden? Hotspot over there. Because I also want to get, I want to make sure that it works with images as well. Does this have an image? Let's see. Where is a good tweet that we can use to experiment with? Should we go with Corey Quinn? Nah. I guess we can just go with myself. Or no. What makes a good developer experience? That's something I said. This was fun. Okay. So we can take this. We're gonna take that code and paste it in here. Come on, paste. There we go. It pasted. Yay. So we're gonna and script here. We're gonna make a script so that we can test the JavaScript that we're building. Script const embed equals all of this stuff, and I'm gonna save this on my my desktop because why not? Come on, desktop, click. For fuck's sake, computer. Let's call this static tweet test.html. This Gatsby is still building. Wow, computer. What is going on? Let's see, what is using so much CPU? Oh, code renderer is using also many millions of CPU. So is Windows Server, and everything is terrible right now. Okay, cool. Now what is it complaining about here? No, come on, just like, I don't care. Let's go here and write a hello world. I'm gonna save this and just try to open it. So we go to, come on, file, // users, Swizzets, desktop, and then we should be able to open that. Static tweet test HTML. Okay, cool. So the HTML here works. We're still waiting for this to run. Ah, there we go. I'm gonna take this one from Adam Rakes because he is cool. So, and it's also gonna be a little easier to play around with. Come on. Data, embed. Okay. So we got that. This is still building. And now we're going to console log this so that I can verify that JavaScript in the test thingy works. Okay. Invalid or unexpected token. What is wrong with this? Like, did this accidentally become multi-line? It did. Great. So you can't actually have multi-line strings in JavaScript, which is kind of frustrating, but okay. There we go. So now that's gonna work. Is it gonna console log? It did. Great. Now the next thing we gotta do is steal the CSS from, we're gonna steal the CSS from Twitter and try to make this embed. So what I'm gonna do is create a div here, div ID equals target, and we're gonna try to write into that. So we're gonna say document dot find node by ID. Is that what it's called? No, find element by ID. Is it? and we're gonna say inner HTML equals hi, just so that we can try that that works, that I still remember old school JavaScript. Document find element by ID is not a function. Then what is it? Document dot find, no, get element by ID. Thank you. Okay, so come on, get element by ID. Why? Why would you do that, computer? Element by ID. There we go. Okay, so is that gonna say hello world and then hi? Come on. Doesn't. Oh, cannot set inner property of null. That's because I gotta, no, it's because I gotta wait for it to load. This is like old school JavaScript from the 90s. So I have to do the HTML first. Oh, come on. Can I type at least, computer? And then I have to run the JavaScript because I'm not doing a document on load. There we go. So now it works. Now we can go, let's go back to my page here and see if it showed up already. No? Load? There we go. So I'm just gonna scroll down real quick to verify that every, yes, Drathel, thank you. So I'm gonna verify that every tweet has been replaced with hello world, although this still isn't loading. So that's annoying. Why is this not loading all of a sudden? So let's close that page, open a new one, go to localhost 8000, and okay. Why is nothing working? That's fun. Okay, we can deal with that later. Let's go back here to, hey Drathel, how are you doing today? So we're gonna go back here and try to just get the right HTML for this to work. Although it is very strange that this doesn't load. What is this doing? So it's returning hello world. How is it doing here? So it's getting the HTML. It's returning this that gets. Okay, let me check. Why is that not turning into hello world? How is this being called? Index.js, default transformers. Where does the transforming actually happen? Update prettier config, fetch with retries, fetch embed data, get trimmed, includes sum of array. Let's see, how is this plugin calling this stuff? Get URL string, markdown AST, filter transformers should transform, yes, get HTML transformations push, async, await cache get URL string, await get HTML, await cache set. Okay, so this should be working, but isn't. So I'm gonna run yarn clean, and I'm gonna run it again, yarn clean, and just run it again real quick in the background because it should work, and it's pretending like it's working, and then we can focus on the test that we set up. Yarn start. Okay. Now in the test that we set up here, we need to now, we're gonna say that we're setting this to HTML. HTML, come on. And if I say const HTML equals oembed.html, we're gonna get a block quote. So that's the typical way that tweets become embedded. You see, is like this. Now we're gonna update this HTML to make it load in a way that works better. So let's see. We can actually just set up our own CSS for Twitter tweet, and that's gonna work. So if we go here and we say style, come on, style, and I'm gonna go on, let's see, where should we go? Oh, I know what I can do. So I'm gonna go cheat a little bit and look at a helper page that I have that just embeds tweets. Hey Anurag, how are you doing? So I need to look up a URL for something. I'm gonna go to my screenshot Lambda. Lambda screenshot is a service. This one embeds tweets by calling a page that's running on Vercel. So embeds, I'm just gonna look that up. So take screenshot, upload screenshot. Come on, I know it's somewhere. Embeds code, get Chrome, take screenshot. Is it that? Yeah. So we have tweet embedder, which takes a URL of a tweet and embeds it, and we're gonna use that to cheat what we're doing. Come on. Oh, God. So we get the URL. Oh, okay. There we go. So this is what we're trying to build. We're aiming for this thing, for something like this. So we're going to start with, what are we going to start with? We're going to start with the basic styles for a Twitter tweet. So we have class Twitter tweet, and what I can do here. Now, why is this a div? No, I'm just putting it in the wrong place. So style Twitter tweet. We're gonna, let's first verify that this is working. Border 1 pixel solid red. This is like the console log of CSS. And I'm gonna reload this. Okay, so we've got that part. Now I'm going to do some cheating and copy CSS from Twitter's own embed. So if we go here, come on, let me select this shit. So this is adding a bunch of stuff. iframe. Let's see, does this have Twitter tweet? Does this have any stuff? Okay, so we're gonna first say, actually, let's just first copy all of this stuff. So we're gonna say that Twitter tweets have a flex display, they have a max width, they have a normal width, and they have some margins on the top and the bottom. So, okay, that helped a little bit. So we now have a flexi display. Next thing we need is, what is it the next thing we need? Let's see, do we need to get some styles? Embed tweet.html. What happens if we steal that link? It might make it easier to borrow CSS. Oh, great. My distraction blocker is not very smart. So we take that, okay. And now we have just the iframe. Go in here. And let's see, what kind of CSS are we loading? So div ID app. Let's see. Pointer events, none important. Okay, we don't care about that part. It would actually be pretty cool if we just copied this and used it. That would be fun. But let's see, min width, max width. Okay, so actually what do we get? We get the author name, we get the author URL, we get the HTML of the tweet. Oh, we get the width, type is rich, provider name, provider URL, cache age, height null. So this is interesting. Now we get paragraphs, that's good. So paragraphs are flex. What happens if we say that the flex direction is column, flex direction column? I think that's going to immediately make it look a little better. Perfect. That did work. Then what else do we need? Copying the fonts would be nice, wouldn't it? So let's figure out what kind of fonts this is using. So network. Let's reload this page. Tweet.html. Where do we get fonts? CSS font. No? Is this really not using fonts? Okay, then let's just look at the font settings here. So we're gonna go into computed and look for fonts, font weight, line height, font variance, font style, normal, font family. Okay, display flex, margins, font family is Apple. Actually, I can just copy this. Can't I copy this? Come on, let me copy this shit. Font family, font inherit, font family, there we go. So I'm gonna copy this and put it here, and that should immediately make this look better, I hope. So there we go. So you see this now looks more like a tweet. We've got that part. Next we need the actual border and stuff. So let's copy that. Go into, that seems like the one. So styles, we're no longer gonna filter them, but we need border. Is that really a black border? Or is this giving us the border? This is giving us the border, okay. So border width, border radius. So we say border is 1 pixel, solid RGB, 196.207.214. Then we have border radius, which is set to 12 pixels. And then there's a padding inside. Let's see, padding, which is, the padding is on this element. The padding is like that. So we have padding, 12 pixels on top, 16 pixels on the right, 4 pixels on the bottom, and 16 pixels on the left. So this should now look more like a, there we go. See, it already looks a lot more like a tweet. We're making good progress here. Now, why is this shit splitting up? So m-Adam Rakis, is that something that real tweets don't display? Indeed. So we're gonna have to change this part to look more like a link. Okay. Let's see. So we take this. Let's see. What is this? Does it have? So it's just a link to the tweet, which means we're gonna have to parse the HTML. That part is gonna be fun. Now, how do we parse the HTML to do that? Now, actually, let's add the header first. So we have the tweet embed. Now we're gonna have to, inside the tweet embed, we're going, or inside the Twitter tweet, we need to add Adam's username and avatar. How the hell do I get his username? How the hell do I get his avatar? That's gonna be interesting. But let's try this first. Oh, and we also need to remove the m dash stuff. Okay, so everything after the m dash is unnecessary, which means this is going to be terrible. Bad HTML parsing. Okay for a hack. Actually, no, it's not okay for a hack. We can deal with that later. Let's start with the author name and the other stuff. So here we're gonna say when this is a div.twitter tweet. Should it be a div? Should it be a block quote? Let's do div. So div class equals Twitter tweet. And then we're putting in the embed HTML like that, and div. Now here we need to add the username. So we're gonna, let's see, what does the username look like? So that's gonna be a div of some sort, like that. So div article role div class a ref. Okay, so we're gonna call this the hey Mihia, how are you doing today? So we're gonna call this the author, and then we're going to build the author stuff like this. Const author equals div class equals Twitter tweet author, and it's going to have at the very top the author name. Yeah. So first we're gonna have the image, then we're gonna have the author name. So we can say I'm just gonna call it a span because I'm lazy. Here we're gonna have the embed.author name and span. And should it be a span or should it be a div? Let's keep it a span. And then we're gonna have the author URL. Okay, and then embed dot author URL, or actually let's do the handle, which is an A. Is the whole thing a link? No, so Adam is a link, but the other part isn't a link. Okay, so we're gonna have the handle and div, and this is actually going to be an A with a ref to embed.author URL, like that, and A. What am I missing? I need to close this. So we have a div with the author stuff. We're gonna say const handle equals embed.author URL dot replace. We're gonna replace the first part of the URL. Or actually, let's just split. Yeah, replace https://twitter.com/ with an empty string that gives us the handle. So now let's see if that shows up. Okay, so we have Adam Rakis and we have, this needs to have an @ in front, but we can add the @ here. So @handle, we have that, and it says Adam Rakis @Adam Rakis. Now let's style it to look like the right thing. So in the styles, we're gonna say dot, what's this called? Actually, we're gonna call the whole thing is going to up here say class static tweet embed. So we're gonna put everything in div dot like that. So Twitter tweet inside div dot static tweet embed dot Twitter tweet, and then we have div dot static tweet embed dot, we said this is the author, so dot author the stuff. Now the author for the A is going to have to be display block. That's gonna force the rest to move to a new line. And let's see how we can borrow this Adam Rakis stuff up here. So what do we have here as the styles? So that's our span that just says this HTML is terrible. Oh, so the whole thing is an A. That makes sense. Okay. So this one, let's go to computed, and we're gonna say, let's see, borders doesn't have a border, app font family, font size 15 pixels, font stretch 100%. What the hell is that? I've never seen that one before. So we have font size, variants, font weight 700, line height 20 pixels. I'm gonna take away font stretch because I don't know what it does. Line height, we don't need lists, we don't need any of that. Okay, so we've got the author. And now let's style the rest of the author part. So we styled the, yes, Miha, we're doing a lot of, oh crap, my entire leg fell asleep. So we're hacking to have static tweet embeds because I think that's going to increase performance a lot. And it's something that I've been thinking about for a while because it improves privacy as well. Oh, I ran out of tea. Okay, so the rest of the author field, where are we? Needs to be styled like what? So here we have border, solid, border. There's gonna be color somewhere, color. So say color is RGB 91, 112, 131. And here the color is, I believe, black. Is it black? Let's verify that it is black. Color, no, it's not black. It is actually color RGB 15, 20, 25. Okay, so now we go back to static tweet embed, and this should look a little better. It does, except it fell out of, here's what we need to do. All of this stuff needs to be actually for the entire static tweet embed. So we now have Adam Rakis. That looks better. Let's make the whole thing, let's actually make the whole thing a link because I think that's what it actually is. And here we're gonna say that the whole thing links to his Twitter name, and then we have a and span, or actually we can make that a strong. Let's make it more. Let's make this better than, or we can just call it a b, and then at handle. So we say static tweet embed author A, but actually embed author B is gonna have these properties. And I think the whole thing has a font size of 15, and probably the whole thing has a line height of 20 pixels. And then it's just the bold part that is a display block and has a darker color. Let's see what happens. I did not close, and A. Come on. What did I miss? So we have A class author and A. Here we have static tweet embed dot author. Why is this suddenly not working? What did I miss? Come on. Come on. Okay. What am I missing here? Static tweet embed, A class author. Ha! I am missing. I didn't close the href. There we go. So now it says Adam Rakis, Adam Rakis. Let's verify that. I think that. Yes, exactly, Rook. So what I'm trying to do, Rook, if your blog is built with Gatsby, it's going to have these JavaScript-less tweet embeds. Or I'm gonna open source my code. At least that's what I can promise. Let's see, border, RGB, box sizing, color, font size. Aha, this font size is 14 pixels. So font size 14 pixels. That's gonna make it look a little better. There we go. No, I can't tell why that doesn't look the way it does here. Like, what is missing? So Adam Rakis, I feel like my font size isn't correct. So we have font size 15 pixels, line height 20 pixels. What's going on here? Let's see. Styles. Inherit, break word, min width 0, color inherit, white space inherit. 0 pixel borders, okay. Margin 0, padding 0. Actually, I think the next thing we can try is adding adding his photo, and I think that's gonna help a lot to make it look better. But yeah, something feels off. Oh, I know what feels off. Am I zoomed in? Yes, that's what felt off. I was zoomed in. Okay, so not zooming in when you're stealing people's styles helps a lot. And let's see. We do also need to hide the text decoration that was underlined. Let's go command 0. Okay. Line height. Line height 20 pixels. Now, how do we text decoration? Text. I can zoom this part in though, so that it's easier for you to see. Text decoration. Text decoration none. I think that's gonna make the underlines go away. There we go. So that looks a little better now. We now have Adam Rakis, Adam Rakis. Let's see if we can somehow figure out his avatar. Avatar. So I think that's the avatar. Styles. Background. Transition property, no. Okay, so where is... I don't think it's embedded as an image. Role link. Is it here? So we're gonna add an avatar here. I just need to find if we can reverse engineer the image. Div class, profile images. Okay, so I'm gonna try to, let's first hack it. So age class, blah, blah, blah. How do we do that? It needs to be all part of the same URL. Okay, and we also need to here on B. So div.static minus tweet minus embed dot author b cover. We need to say text decoration is underline. See if that's gonna work. So now when I go here, it becomes underlined. That's perfect. Nice. Now let's add an image, which we're gonna add here. Image source equals author image. Come on. And the image const author image equals the static image. So that's gonna show up and it's gonna be way too big. There we go. So here we can then say div static tweet embed author image is a float left. Width is 48 pixels. Height is 48 pixels. And border radius is 100%, I think. That's gonna make it a circle. Let's see if that works. Okay, so we've got that part. Now we need to add some margins and stuff. Where are the margins? So I'm trying to find where the margin goes right now, or where the padding goes. There we go. This one has a margin of 4 pixels. So we're gonna say margin right is 4 pixels. Okay, so this looks great now. The problem is we need to figure out how do we figure out how to get the image, because it's not in the embed data. We have the URL for the image, we have the author URL. How do I get his image from here? Oh, so Twitter.com Adam Rakis, that's his status. We don't have his ID either. So how do I get the author image? That's a problem. So profile images, I'm gonna guess that to, yeah, I think we might need to make an actual API request here. So I get the embed data from, let's see, what was I going to say? So we started off with putting this into an existing Twitter embed plugin, which has support for getting embed data. So we took their fetch embed data function and used it to get data, to get stuff. Now, I wonder if that can give us, I wonder if embed can give us more info. So let's go with Twitter embed options. Let's see if we can ask the, can we ask the embed API to give us more data? Sure. Okay, so embed parameters gets the URL, widget type, collection timelines only, don't need that. Display up to n items, max width, max height, omit script, do not include script element, language related, theme, when set to dark, the timeline is displayed as dark, border color, Chrome. Okay. Okay, so we are sending do not track, so that's nice. Can I get, it looks like it won't let me ask for, yeah, probably want to make a real API request because those are, the problem with API requests is that they are rate limited and they have problems with other stuff. I know that's a weird way of explaining that, but the problem with making API requests is that I then have to make a Twitter app and I have to go through the approval process of weird stuff. Let's author avatar. Let's see. Bad user profile, images and banner. Developer Twitter detected. Profile images, also known as avatars, are an important object. Yeah, so PBS image Twitter file banners. So this is telling me that, let's see, what if, a little bit smart. Yeah, so we are gonna need to make an API call for that. To do make API call. Okay, so that's that. Now let's, next thing we can do is actually style this a little better. So first of all, where is the padding coming for our block quote? Or rather, there we go. So block quote, why does it have so many margins? Let's go here and say div.static tweet embed block quote is going to have a margin of 0. So that should fix how this looks. Okay, so we've got that. Then we need to, I think we need to change the font size on the block quote. So if I go to computed and look for font size, font family, font size 20 pixels, say font, come on, font size 20 pixels. Okay, so there we go. That looks way better already. And then we need to we're gonna have to deal with this later. Now let's see, how can we get that picture embedded? So that picture is an actual picture URL, but how do we turn it from the block quote where it's just linked, so this part here, how do we change that to a picture? Also, is it linked here? I think it is. Yes. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a dirty hack. Yeah, dirty hack. So here we're gonna say const tweet equals oembed.html.replace. We're gonna look for every. So the way Twitter pictures get embedded is that it's an if you look at the HTML here, it's an A tag here. It's an A tag that inside contains pic.twitter.com/something. So we're gonna take that and turn it into an image tag. So we're gonna say we're gonna replace everything that has that pattern. Come on. Then I think we can grab that. Dot plus, and let's see, it's got letters and images, or letters and numbers. So we say 0 to 9, A to Z. Is it A to Z? Actually, let's just call it any word character, \word plus. So we're replacing all of those. This is a regex that I'm writing, and we're going to replace that with, let's try just hello $1 for starters, because I'm trying to see if capture params work. We need to say that this is a regex, and let's try. So I think $1 lets us put in what we replaced. What did I mess up? Oh, I need to escape the /. There we go. That didn't work. Oh, it didn't work because I didn't actually use the HTML that we produced. So we say author and tweet. So that worked. See, $1 replaced the capture group with that value. So instead, we're going to replace this with image source equals https://page.twitter.com/$1, and we will see if that makes the image work. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make it work because why? Let's see. What happens if we go directly to this URL? What do we get? Oh, interesting. It changes into his tweet. How did it get embedded here? Oh, here it did get embedded with both of them. So we might need to use the API for this as well. That's going to be annoying. Okay, that's not going to work. What if we say .png here? No. Okay, so I'm gonna stop here. Okay, so I wasn't able to get this working in an hour. And on that terrible disappointment, I'm gonna have to end. We did get pretty far. We have a static HTML tweet that looks pretty close to a normal tweet, but we've gotten to the point where I need to use the Twitter API, which is going to be a little bit more work and kind of more complicated. So we're going to continue with this next week on Tuesday. Join me if you can. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye.